been a hot minute since I've done this, guys, so bear with me if I make any goofy, funny mistakes, but looks like I'm good and live, and I actually got a few people in chat already. We got the Net Guy Reviews, mystery build. Yes, indeed, a mystery it is going to be because I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, so I figured let's give a $500 build a try in this crazy current market and see if we can actually make it work. So that's the prospect of the stream tonight. Doing a little bit kind of different stream too, guys. Most of you guys, if OGs in the channel I can already see are used to seeing me going live, then you guys know that it's usually from a different scene, which is actually behind me. That's when we're building PCs. So we might be doing another live here pretty soon, but I thought I've been lacking in the content creation lately. Things have just been crazy in life in general. All good things, just real busy, and I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to sit down and making content at night, yeah, I've been pretty tired and didn't really want to do so. So I've been a little lazy. Thankfully, this isn't my full-time job. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be making much money. So not making much money anyway. But anyway, hopefully you guys are reading me good. I'm noticing got some folks in the channel. Got the Net Guy Reviews, Reluctant Hero, and Blind Tech. So give me guys a thumbs up if everything looks all good. And everything looks good, we'll just jump right into this. Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me okay. And I'm always on the fence on if everything's good. All right, Blind Tech's giving me a thumbs up. That's good to go. So, yeah, to put on the, or to talk to the point, Reluctant Hero says, love this budget. Year after year, you can get more and more for $500. And I'm hoping that's still the case. I'm hoping that some of the volatility that's happened in the markets with shortages of some of the higher end stuff and all the other economic values that play into why, you know, building a PC, especially here early in 2025, is pretty tough. So I haven't done a build guide in a while, and $500 is usually that sweet spot where people decide to make a decision between going console or trying to stick it out and go for a PC. So tonight we're going to do this. We're going to basically start with PC Part Picker, as kind of like what I've done with a lot of my build hunt videos, but you guys are going to do it in the live with me. And the idea behind that is you guys to help keep me honest and help me pick out the parts too, because I'm using PC Part Picker just as basically a tally sheet. We'll, you know, kind of make the edits as we go, but I'm pretty sure we're going to end up having to go to like eBay to find some type of used part, likely the GPU, because that's generally what is the toughest component to find in terms of price to performance. So we'll just start from the top. And I'm also thinking, because of the budget that we're trying to hit, we're likely going to have to stick with slightly older platform, not crazy old, an AM4 platform, which actually the PC you see behind me is an AM4 platform too. So there's nothing wrong with going AM4. It still has plenty of life on it, if you ask me, but the only reason I'm clinging to that is because I know Intel is going to have its Intel techs, like I've always talked about on the channel. But we'll see what we can get. I'm not ruling out anything, and I'm not sticking to anything in particular. I just kind of know how things have gone in the past, and assuming that some of the market trends as they are now might force us kind of down a very strict particular path. And because I'm streaming from my normal setup, it's much easier for me to pick up and read comments and us make this as an interactive thing. So generally where I'm building a PC, it's tough for me to see the comments as they come in. So that's a fine perk for you guys as we're chatting along and live in the stream. And Blind Tech says, picked up an RX 580 8 GB for 40 bucks before tax. That's pretty solid. 40 bucks in RX 580 8 GB. Yeah, coming kind of towards end of life, I'd say probably a few more years, maybe 2 to 3 more years. You might not be seeing those cards too often anymore. But for 40 bucks, that's a you know, can't complain about that. That's a good deal. And yeah, stick that with some other hardware. You can probably have yourself a decent, very cheap and budget 1080p gaming system, which heck, we might even have to resort to a 580 as well. So let's get started here. I'm gonna turn over to the screen capture here with me up in the corner, and like I said, we're just going to start with PC Part Picker and just move ourselves down the list and see what we can get. So we're going to start ourselves a brand new build, and I'm just going to basically go down the list of PC Part Picker until we're basically hopefully complete with a $500 or less PC build that you guys can go take from me. Like, this is going to be basically do it in the live. I've not done any research, so I don't know what I'm getting myself into. It's been a little bit since I've done a PC build. Nemesis Dark says, sup? What's up, man? Thanks for joining. $500 new or used. This is going to be probably a combination of new and used, strictly because one of the parts that's going to be relatively difficult to get our hands on at a good price is going to be the GPU, likely. So we will still, see what's out there, but for $500, it's definitely probably going to be a mixed build. It's just, that's what $500 is in this time of world. So let's start off with CPU. I'm just kind of curious. I did make mention that we're gonna maybe look at AM4 first. So I'm gonna basically filter on really where I want to spend the amount of money, and I'm gonna just literally take the filter down to I don't really want to spend any more than like maybe we'll put it at the high, like $125-ish for a CPU. I still think that's still pretty darn high for a CPU. That's literally, over 20% just for one part. So also keep that in mind, right? So we are definitely trying to make sure that we part this together in a reasonable way. We don't want to spend $300 on a GPU and get junk everything else. This needs to be a pretty good balanced PC. So our aim is definitely the maximum price to performance, but also try to make it look good too. All right, so let's just sort by price lowest first here on PC part picker. I'm going to do maybe a little bit of a zoom in on that, so that way that's a little easier for everybody to see. I'll do a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so obviously we don't want to go with any of these Intel's $20, $30 CPUs. Like, these are just going to be junk. Some of the stuff, it's kind of amazing that it even lists on PC part picker anymore these days. Like, we're talking about some really old stuff, 4th gen. I might just tailor my build towards, in fact, I'm going to do it. I think I'm just going to choose a AM4 platform, and then we'll see what that settles us in on first. And if we think we can get a little bit more out of, like, say, Intel, we'll come back. But I want to look at what's going on with AM4 for now, just because I know we can get pretty good with the money there. Okay, so this is pretty solid right up here at the top. A Ryzen 5 4500 for $67. Let's take a quick peek at that here. So we've got active sales going on, one in Amazon in stock. It looks like a bunch of them for, even used, looks like we can save like $1 or $2. For $67, it does go up quite a bit pretty fast in some of the other vendors, so I don't think really going anywhere else but Amazon is the way to go on that. That's got my interest perked pretty well. Like, the fact that we can get a 6-core 12-threaded processor, I believe that's what this is, or is it just 6-core? No, it is 12 threads, okay. So I do know, I believe I built with one of these once before. It's a good, I would say, 1080p starter CPU for a, relatively non-powerhouse PC. The thing that it is lacking, yeah, here it is the L3 cache. I believe the 3600s and 5600s have like 4 times that amount of cache. So where they skimp on these CPUs is they kind of tear down some of what the cache that's available on the CPU. Now, obviously, that will affect performance a little bit. So these generally 4500, I'd say, performs in and about around a 3600, maybe a little less. So again, you got to consider the budget we're aiming for. I'm preparing to spend a lot on a GPU, so just because that's probably what's going to end up happening. But I really like the idea of going with this. Let's see. I'm going to put this, add it to our part list. So $67 from Amazon. Is there a CPU from the Intel side of house that is even going to come close to this? I'm pretty sure that's a hard no, but I'm going to duplicate my tab and maybe run an Intel build right alongside my AM4 build and see if we can cross compare some things. So actually, let's see if we can find an Intel build. So I'm thinking anything of recent relevance within the last few years is going to be an 11th or a 12th gen processor that we might be able to get away with, say like one of the i3s maybe. So let's look for that real quick. Let's see, I was sorting. Okay, LGA 1200. And I think that should be it for all the 11th and 12th gens. Should be. Or I think basically like 10th gen and up. Let's just go lowest price. So, okay, some Celerons. Okay, i3 10 series, not all that great. I think these, yeah, those are just 4 cores. It wasn't until I think the 12th gen, I think, that they started to go up. Maybe I'm mistaken. Okay, these are all 10. Oh, here's 11th. Oh, man. Let me sort by i3, because I think that's all we're going to be able to get away with. i3 10305. Meh. I might be mistaken. Yeah, Nemesis says 13100F, $76. Man, I'm a little rusty. I forget which. So that's not an LGA 1200. Is that a different? You know what? Let me just search by that. That'll tell me. So that could be a competitor. So i3. Let's see. This is why we're doing this live, guys. Like let's build this together and try to get the best price to performance. Okay. So yeah, the difference here is, all right, so this is actually basically the same price as the Ryzen, but what we're losing here, I think, is just a couple cores. So we're losing a couple cores, but what are we looking at in terms of kind of the raw performance value? So I've built with one of these before. Yeah, that's a LGA 1700. I think that's... Did I click on 1700 earlier? I don't remember. Anyway, I guess neither here or there. Basically, these are pretty similar chips. I think actually with the higher cache count, you know, I'm not verifying any of this, but this thing's going to come darn close to the 4500. In fact, maybe might beat it in some areas, because let's check this out. So the normal clock is 3.4 gigahertz on the i3, and a boost up to 4.5. Does have a bit more L3 cache, not a ton more. I think the other one had 8 meg. So let's check that out real quick. Let's go back to the Ryzen chip, 4500. So we've got, obviously 2 more cores, 4 more threads. So for multi-threaded tasks, definitely going to do a little bit better, but definitely does not boost up as high as the i3. So, and has 8 megabytes of cache. So the i3, in terms of gaming, even though it's a 4-core 8-thread, could potentially be a better buy for performance, just because of that boost clock. My guess is we'll be able to maintain, not right at 4.5 the whole time, but I bet we'll definitely be able to maintain 200 to 300 more megahertz sustained than what we're getting out of the Ryzen. So now it's basically, it just comes down to what else can we get in the Intel platform. I mean, we got 2 good competing CPUs, but are we going to get the rest of the parts, which I'm fearing motherboard, because AM4 motherboards are, I hope, the last time I checked, pretty dirt cheap. And the motherboards that support we went with the 13100, so I think that's the B, keep me honest guys, 660 or B560. Again, like, I've been out of the game for a little bit, so I'm kind of relearning things with you guys. But let's keep that penciled in for now and see where we end up. Nemesis Dark definitely says, at least what hits our budget range for the i3 is a pretty good choice. Now, does a 12100F come in any cheaper? Let's see real quick. i3 12, because that's just the previous gen. Oh my gosh, it's more expensive. Yeah, that's where these things were. 1200 is kind of out the door a little bit. 13th gen is a little bit more prevalent in the market, which commands a better price. So yeah, even though that's fine, the i3 13100F performs better anyways than the 1200, so I'm okay with the lesser performing chip being more expensive at this point. Okay, so we did add that to the cart. Oh no, okay, let me add here i3 13100F. All right, so we got at least CPUs that are competing with each other. What do you guys think? I'm pretty sure these 2 CPUs, the i3 13100F versus the Ryzen 5 4500 are pretty close matched. Damien, deal with it. I got a CPU from an Amazon return store for $10. Ryzen 9 was an amazing. Wait, did you get a Ryzen 9 for $10? If that is an amazing, like that's a diamond in the rough if that's what you got there. Blind Tech says, I prefer AMD over Intel in my opinion. I try not to be biased, just being a tech content creator, but my personality bias would probably say the same thing, just because AMD for the last 5-6 years or more has just been awesome about budget and price to performance and offering some of the best CPUs. Like right now, they have the best and fastest CPUs on the market, the 9950 X3D. So you want to spend $1,000 on a CPU, but they got the best. And they also got really awesome budget options. So, all right. So, for RAM, King Bank has a $22 kit on Newegg. Okay, we might be heading that direction next here. I want to find, we'll work our way down the list, but I'm keeping that penciled in. Nemesis, thanks for getting ahead and giving us some options. This is fun. So for CPU cooler, both of these come with CPU coolers as well. I want to mention that. So we're going to just toss that aside. Obviously, both coolers are stock coolers. In fact, the Intel one, I think, oh yeah, I do have one. So I do have a stock Intel cooler that comes with these 13th gen CPUs, like this guy right here. Not the greatest cooler. In fact, these things are pretty loud. I do like how they look, but I'm not super impressed by these coolers. So stock for stock cooler, AM4, I think is the better cooler, even though it's not fantastic either. But beggars can't be choosers when we're building a $500 PC in a tight market. All right, so anyway, enough blabbering. Let's move on. I'm gonna go back to the screen here and let's work our way down to motherboard. AM4 is gonna be like, they're on their way out. Like AM5 has been around for a while, so it might be tough to find, but let's see what we got. I know AM4 pretty well, so like we want to probably stay, like B450 is basically going to be our options. I really don't want to go with an A series board, and below B450 is B350, which is ancient. So let's stick with B450 and literally just see what we can come up with. Oh my goodness. No way. Did I just type something wrong, or oh, you know what? It cached my CPU earlier. I might have to do this in an incognito window so that way I'm not overriding each. Hold on one sec. Let's see if that helps doing the other build in an in private window. Okay, we'll just have to toggle between two. Yeah, so it cached my last thing that I looked at and overrode it. So let me put that back in. So take the Intel. Oops. Well, I don't want to go there on a sec. Okay. I was trying to hit X. There we go. Choose CPU. That was the Ryzen 5 4500. There it is. Okay. We'll build the other build in an incognito window, so that way we don't play with the cache problems here. PC part picker. At least I hope it won't work out that way. We'll find out. Yeah, I think we're okay. So CPU i3 13100F. Add. Perfect. So that's why when I was searching earlier, I'll just minimize that. It couldn't find the motherboard because it knew I had an Intel chip on there. So, hey Joker, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the live. Appreciate you stopping in. Got a good amount of people in the chat, so let's build this PC. All right, so now we're moving on to motherboard. Like I was trying to do earlier, B450. Let's see what we got in lowest price. Oh, not bad actually. That's pretty darn cheap. So $64 for this very, very basic motherboard from ASRock. No real problems with that. I'm not going to focus on trying to get Wi-Fi because that is going to bump the price. This is assuming that either if you're taking this at face value and using this as an example to go build a PC with, or you can add the extra $10-15 if you want. We'll see where that comes out of, but I'm not going to focus on getting Wi-Fi because $500 is going to be, I think, very difficult to build right now. But I don't really like this motherboard. This is very, very stripped down. Only a four-pin EPS. No heat sinks over the MOSFETs. This is extremely, extremely basic. So let me see if I can find something a little bit better. Let's just go with this next one down. MSI. So that's an A520. Not to say that that's bad. Definitely doesn't look any better in terms of aesthetics or even board offerings. And also two DIMM slots as well. I'm going to skip on that as well. I think I saw a decent one right after that. ASRock B450M AC. Check that out. AC Wi-Fi. Okay, this isn't bad. This is much better. 4 DIMM slots, heat sinks over MOSFETs, 8-pin EPS, good power delivery there. We have Wi-Fi. This is pretty solid. It's still pretty cheap and basic, but as far as the offerings of what we need, this basically fills and checks all those boxes, and I'm actually pretty impressed to see some Wi-Fi, so that's pretty cool. So that's coming in at $75 from Newegg. Top budget pick, in my opinion. ASRock B454 is really good for $75. Is that the one we're sitting on? Yeah, this is the one we're sitting on, right? Nemesis. Yeah, I think this one's really caught my eye here. Like, this is kind of what I look for in a budget motherboard. Let's add that, but see what else we got here. So let me put that in the list. Okay. Let's stick with that unless we need to make any type of changes, but those two parts in general, not too bad. Now, to satisfy the Intel build, which I'm pretty sure this is where the Intel build's probably going to stop, but we'll see. Motherboards for 13th gen, I think we can do a B660, I believe. Let's double check. Keep me honest, guys, I don't remember, but I think we can do a B660 with a 13th gen. Definitely not the 560. That goes back to, I think, 11th and 10th gen. So B660, oh gosh, yeah, exactly what I thought. Let me see if this clarifies if it'll run what types of CPUs. Few compatible CPUs. Okay, so the 660s will take the 13th gen, but here's our problem, as I predicted. The good old Intel tax. We're already sitting at $95 for the cheapest Junko motherboard here. I mean, this one isn't terrible. I mean, I hate 2 DIMM slots. I don't know, I just feel like if I'm spending, especially $95 now, so this is $20 more than the AM4 motherboard, and I'm getting a lot less for this motherboard. So 2 DIMM slots versus 4. Decent looking power delivery. The MOSFETs, yeah, okay, pretty darn cheap. Also, we don't have Wi-Fi. Hilarious that they include these VGA connections these days in the old printer, or the dual keyboard and mouse interface ports, and this is just kind of a thrown together board, if you ask me. I don't know. I'm not really feeling this because we could save $20 and get quite a bit more. What do you guys think? That one is ass, as Nemesis says. Yeah, I agree. So I that wouldn't be my first pick. So then what's the next one up is another $15 almost. This one is a lot better. This is a very nice board, actually. But now we got to look at what are we spending here. This also still doesn't have Wi-Fi. It's got some, like I said, we're not really focusing on Wi-Fi. This is actually a pretty good board because it's got USB-C header on it, so that's cool. And then 4 DIMMs, looks like some RGB. If I were to pick, obviously this is my really the second board I can possibly pick. Now that doesn't mean we can't take to eBay, which could be an option. We could really nitpick at it if we need to. I guess for now, since this is the cheapest tolerable board that's at least found on PC Part Picker, we're going to add it, but I'm less inclined to stick with it because even with those two parts, we're at 186, and with the AM4, we're at 142. So we're already like $40 over. going the Intel route. Good old Intel tax, as I always call it. Casey Walls says, I'd stick to AliExpress motherboards in that price range. Here's your problem with AliExpress right now. Tariffs and time of delivery. So we can take a look at AliExpress, but I bought some stuff before the recent administration came into play, and it still took me quite a while. So like, if you're willing to stomach the 6 to 8+ weeks that it's going to take you to maybe get some parts from AliExpress at this point, that's barring that they are not price hiked already like crazy. Let's take a look. But I'm not venturing too much towards AliExpress just because I have a strong feeling it's not going to be a good option for us. But let's try it out. Let's look at let's see, B450 motherboard. Curious. So these machinist boards I've seen a lot. They're actually still decent price. All right, so like this one looks pretty decent. This is the machinist B450. I've actually bought one of these boards. Now a little bit less of a board than we got on our AM4 board. So we got 4-pin power delivery, no heat sinks over the MOSFETs or power delivery, no even battery, BIOS battery. So not that those cost a whole lot, but you have to provide that. The other one also didn't have Wi-Fi. So I don't know, like, let's see if I were to, so it looks like could possibly deliver. Some of these parts do deliver in decent times, I've noticed, and some things tend to take a lot longer. I actually bought a case on AliExpress in December and it arrived in early March. So some stuff is okay. Like, I'm not against AliExpress. I've bought plenty of things from AliExpress before. So maybe try to take the options that we find in this stream, because I don't want to go to everywhere. So like if we're talking about looking at, say, Amazon, Newegg, maybe even B&H, and maybe say Best Buy plus eBay plus AliExpress, this is going to be a 7-hour stream. So this is a decent option. I still think we got way more motherboard. Like we would be saving about $30 if we went with this machinist board. You know, just, you know, kind of pick and choose at what you think is better for you. So that you can, you know, build a $500 PCs 1,000 different ways. So I think I want to take a look at eBay used. Nemesis is asking, so we might look for that. Yeah, Casey Wall says you can get a B450 board for what we found here, $40 to $50. Not bad. I mean, if push comes to shove where we need some extra dollars for the GPU, which I'm sure we're going to need, then maybe we go this route. So I'm not dead set on anything yet. We're just kind of penciling things in as we go. Reluctant Hero says, I ordered some AliExpress CPUs in January and they arrived quickly and I didn't have to pay any special fees. Well, that's good. It's good to hear. Like, I don't know if it's been 100% confirmed that AliExpress is, you know, 100% affected by the tariffs there. I mean, $45 here. There's no way that there's a tariff on that right now. I mean, I've seen these boards for this price before, so nothing looks changed in terms of the motherboard prices. It looks like there's a bunch of them that are going for around that price too. So I wonder if they have any. Just looking at Intel B660, right? Yeah, B660 motherboard. What do those look like on AliExpress as well? Okay, oh, that thing looks funky. Oh, it's just the color of the cover. And that one has a BIOS battery. So actually, this ain't too bad either. It's only got 2 DIMM slots, so it's pretty stripped down board. A lot of these too, like, I've never heard of some of these brand on AliExpress. I've heard of the Machinist brand. It's a pretty common one. This one is Kalisri or whatever. Do not pay for the shipping of defective products. Oh, okay. This one's saying could arrive in 15 days, blah, blah, blah. Now, is it going to add a bunch of shipping on at the end? Some of these you have to look to. Ship to the United States. Buy now. Oh, I don't want to sign it. I don't want to dox my information, but be careful of that too, because I've noticed when I've shopped on AliExpress before, I thought I was getting a good deal. I went to go check out, and it's trying to add like $50 of shipping. I not saying that happens for everything, but there's particular things I guess that are maybe less common where I've seen that happen. So just be on the lookout for that. The net guy, can I get a free PC, please? Man, you might had to come in and on an anonymous name if you want a free PC. I'm just kidding. I don't have all the content and hardware to give away, so sorry, no free PCs for anybody. I gotta build this and sell it to keep the content moving. Anyway, so I think we've deviated enough. Screen capture back on. Let's go check out memory. Nemesis Dark said, yes, also he's Nemesis mentioned, he's offered out a lot of good ideas already. Amazon Warehouse, I definitely try to take to as well to find good deals, typically on some of the better parts that are out there that, you know, if you're buying from eBay, you're basically buying in the same way, where it's a used part, and could be of a pretty good part that's just used. All right, so memory, really gonna just keep this pretty dead simple. 2 8 gig DIMMs, stick to anywhere between, say, 3600 and 3200 megahertz, and basically just see what is our lowest price. Not really super concerned about aesthetics, although want to keep it in mind. Obviously, you know, get the nicer looking stuff if we can. I'm kind of zoned in on this Team Group kit here, but it has 0 reviews. But this is super basic. They're black, so it's not like green eyesore DIMMs, but these look decent. This is 3200 megahertz, 16 gigs. RAM seems pretty unaffected, I think, as far as the current market is concerned. Let's see if we spend a few more bucks to get something that looks a little bit better. We're not going for like a white build just because I feel like that's going to be tougher to find parts for, but what about this Time Tech Pinnacle? What did Nemesis, you said something earlier. Let me check the $22 kit. I think you said you saw. Going back in the comments, trying to find what you said. King Bank, $22 kit on Newegg. So let me just search King Bank, unless maybe it's right here in the listings. King Bank. Nope. Let's see. Ryzen 5 2600 V450 16 gig RAM combo on AliExpress for $90. Wow, that's pretty solid. Am I the only one that thinks 16 gigs of RAM isn't enough for gaming anymore? I upgraded to 32 because of Black Ops 6 doesn't multitask well with 16. Yeah, I mean, 16 is definitely, I would say, the minimum starting range. That's a comment from Casey Walls. Yeah, I would say 32 is definitely starting to make more mainstream these days. 16 you can get away with for a fair amount. I think consider like a $500 gaming PC. Technically, yeah, maybe I can buy 2 of these kits and get up to 32 gigs for, you know, under 50 bucks. So that's an option. It's usually what I try to say is the starting point, because RAM is so upgradable. You can definitely get higher capacity DIMMs. So we could get 2 16 gig DIMMs. So that would get you to 32, or you could populate all 4 slots. Or so usually I try to say you can generally get away with 16 gigs for most 1080p esports gaming scenarios, which is the target of a, say, a $500 gaming PC. I don't know what like the consoles have. I don't believe they have more than 16 gigs of RAM. So I guess that just, you know, it's just a matter of what you're doing on your PC that also involves multitasking and might consume more memory. So King Bank RAM 22, not the best, but the cheapest kit available right now. Yeah, I think actually that sounds, so $22. I'm not seeing it on PC Part Picker. Did you find that on PC Part Picker, Nemesis? I'm just curious. I want to see if I can find it. I'll just type in King Bank. Okay, maybe it's just not on. Maybe it's on Newegg. like you said. Let's see what we got. King Bank. We want the cheap stuff. Let's see. Let me sort by 25 to 50. Just trying to find what you found. No. Do that as a search. There it is. Is this what you're talking about? Maybe. That's a white dims. Not bad. I've never used King Bank, but it's probably all the same anyway. It's just some third party slaps a heatsink on there and calls it their RAM. It's generally likely TSMC or, oh, I just realized I'm not sharing my screen. Whoops. Here, this is the ones I found. But I think this is what you're talking about, $22.99. That's basically an equal option to what I found here on PC Part Picker. I'm only kind of trying to stick to it so I can help tally things up a little bit better, but what did I find? I'm going to go back to searching by speed. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So, I mean, basically same type of general memory as this one I found here, which, well, they look better than Team Group. Only reason I'm thinking is, yeah, I like, okay, this one but they're actually the same price, $22.99. Oh, yeah, same price. Although the King Banks have some, they got some heat sinks on them. So the only thing I'm thinking about is this memory might stick out slightly like a sore thumb if I end up getting a bunch of different black components, which likely I'm going to, just because it's tougher to find like white or lighter colored components like this. So I'll keep this in mind, but for now I'm going to pencil in because it's pretty much the same as this Team Group kit. So I'm going to add that to the cart. Yeah, I want to make some aesthetic upgrades if I got the money for it, but I'm literally trying to save dollar per dollar just to be able to get a better video card, and that's also why I'm not going to 32 gigs of memory. Storage. Another area where people might say the absolute minimum has changed, where I would say, a few years ago, the absolute minimum should be 512, but games like Call of Duty take up like just about, it feels like that amount in itself. So 1 terabyte is what I generally suggest is to be the bare minimum, only playing a few games at a time type situation. I mean, I don't play but 1 or 2 different games on my PC. So I know there's some people that tend to, hoard a bunch of games on your PC. Well, then that's just going to really introduce an issue for you, so you might need more storage. But I think 1 terabyte's a really good starting point, especially for the price point of $500. And I believe that's what you get on, say, I'm going to compare consoles a bit too, because they're kind of similar in the price range. So let's see what we can find for a 1 terabyte drive. All right, so we're gonna go just sort by size. I'm just giving us a window to search with. So 960 to 1200, and we want it only as NVMe. And price lowest, okay, Acer. Didn't even know they made drives. I thought they made monitors. TimeTech, I've actually used this exact drive. Does look like, well, I don't know, I guess this does look probably about right for prices of drives. And I'm not sharing my screen, my bad. So this Acer one comes up as the first one, but TimeTech, definitely an option, I think. $50, it's basically the same price. A lot of these are 50 to 51. King Spec, not heard of it before. Clev, not heard of it before. Here's a Patriot, which is a little bit less. It's a 960, which, yeah, it's 1 TB, right? For 52, silicon power, 52. So I'm leaning towards this Time Tech just because it's, I mean, Time Tech, my next choice would be the silicon power one. I've used plenty of silicon power drives before, and we're spending $2 more. So $2. What do you guys think? Silicon power. I mean, I'm kind of leaning on that just because I've used a lot of silicon power before. I've used like Time Tech a time or two before. Well, that's the difference here between these two. So we got silicon power A60 versus silicon power P34A60. It might be the memory controller on these are different. I don't know if it's even going to say. Yeah, we would have to probably do some research on that, but my guess is this is the better drive just because it's got a few more, it's worth a few more dollars, and it's probably got a better memory controller. Nemesis Tech says some brand called Orico has some cheaper drives, but I'm not sure if they are reliable. Clev Kraz is faster and cheaper. So you've used these Clev drives, huh? Looks pretty sleek. Again, well, it's another white part-ish, kind of, sort of. I hate to keep poo-pooing on your ideas. But, okay, let's go with it. Let's go with it. I think I've seen Zach's Tech Turf use these. So we're kind of, I guess, meeting ourselves in the middle here. Time Tech, I don't really have anything wrong with that. Definitely don't want to use this Acer. Clev is $1 cheaper than the silicon power. Sure, let's go with it. All right, adding that guy to the cart. So where are we at so far? This is the AM4 build. We're going to basically use the same parts for storage and memory and the Intel builds. We're at 217 so far, so that's given us a fair amount of money for our video card. So we also need video card case, power supply, and I think we're on a good heading here. Casey Wall says, I recently got this huge deal on eBay. I hate buying used storage, but I got a 2 TB PCIe 4.0 drive for $100. Yeah, that's a pretty decent deal. I definitely don't advise buying storage used as well. It sounds like you tend to agree, but you know, what the heck? I mean, that's not a huge investment, so it sounds like a pretty good deal, and go for it. Only thing with SSDs too. Oh, two 2 TB. Oh shoot, that's a killer deal. Never mind. All right, so hats off to you. You found a killer deal. I'd say one is kind of edging it too. Okay, that's great. That's a good deal. Okay, all right. Let me go back to screen cap here. Video card. I am 100% certain that we're not going to find anything relatively new. Maybe there's no way we're going to find an NVIDIA card. But let's just play devil's advocate. So let's take a look at where our spend is right now. We're at $217.47. I'd like to get away with spending no more than like $150 on a video card because we also have to buy case, which we're about another $50. So then that would take us up to about $400 in power supply. Maybe we got some budget room here. And I also like to, if we can, I just noticed this Team Group kit is CAS latency 22. Come on, guys, supposed to catch me on this. So that would have been a bad buy. Wow. Okay, so let me go back here and just wipe out that memory. I just happened to glance up and look at that. So we might end up going with that. Heck, let's do it. That King Bank kit. I'm gonna just let's do this. King Bank desktop memory. So this is how you can do like a custom line item in PC part picker. So you can use it kind of almost like an Excel sheet in that way. So we're going to go to memory. Choose, oh wait, no. We want to do, I thought I could do, oh wait, that's right. It's down here. So we'll do other. Probably could have just chose from something. But let's do, so I can just add a random other part. Choose memory. I'm trying to remember. Oh, come on, PC part picker. Sound cards, wire card, no, it's that where other case accessories, case fans. Let's go with. Let's just. All right. I'm gonna pencil in. This is what I'm gonna do. Just gonna select this kit, add to part list, but then I'm going to modify it. Enter price manually. This is obviously we're not going with the Corsair. We're going with the King Bank, or at least penciling that in. $22.99. So PC part picker doesn't have that kit. But let's see if I do add additional. No, that's not gonna work. Okay, but we're gonna end up going with this King Bank kit. So we'll keep that in mind. So now we kind of have a bit of an aesthetic building for ourselves. We've got the King Bank kit that's kind of a white silvery look, and then we've got this Clev SSD that's got a white/black look. So doesn't necessarily mean we have to get other white components, but you know, we'll see where we get. We could always take the stock cooler. I've done this before, and I know Zach's Tech Turf has done it a million times. Is paint the cooler shroud on the Ryzen cooler and add to the white aesthetic for basically nothing. Maybe $5 in paint or whatever. If you even want to consider that tallied up in your build. So just gonna take a quick sip of water here and check out the comments real quick. It's a lot of stuff. Got a lot of participation tonight, which is awesome. Nemesis says, go for a used RTX 2070. I'm hoping like that could be a good sweet spot for what we're trying to. I don't know what the cards cost right now, so I'm going at this blind. I've done zero back-end research before this live, but I think that might be a good spot to start. That guy says, thoughts on tier list and Thermaltake white PSUs. They're considered to be one of the cheapest ones, but not, I would say, the deadliest ones. I've definitely used them before, never had any problems with it. I think the tier list, and I know Zach's Tech Turf has put together his own new list. I haven't really checked it out yet. I've seen some advertisement on it with either him in his videos or whatever. I'm not sure how much that list is yet complete or ready to go on. Maybe it is complete. I literally just haven't checked it out. Maybe we'll check it out tonight. So a mouthful of an answer there, but I would say it depends on what your PC build is targeting. If it's like maybe $500 and under, I'd say it's probably fine. It's not a massive investment. If you've got a $1,000 PC, I would definitely bump up your PCU quality or PSU quality. So I mean, you don't want to take other components as it fails with it. So never skimp out on it, but also I would say do it within what's reasonable too when you're trying to do budget builds. So yeah, I've never had one fail, and I used to use them all the time, like in Dell Optiplex replacement build power supplies and etc. So I think a lot of people, like, the hate just comes down to is they know it's low quality. Some of them have ketchup and mustard cables, or you can still kind of see it. So I don't know. It gets more hate than I think it deserves. But now definitely don't put one into a $1,500 build. That doesn't make any sense. But I don't think anybody would do that anyway. So it looks like the general consensus in the chat is the same. So let's go find a video card. And I'm going to play devil's advocate, at least on PC Part Picker for now. 20 series graphics cards are not going to be available, but since we had the idea to look at one, I'm just kind of curious what they're going for. $600. Yeah, these are, take this at a very, very tiny pinch of salt, is basically because these aren't produced anymore. Even like EVGA isn't a company that produces video cards anymore. So this is just resellers selling these cards. Obviously not smart to be looking for a video card that's 6 years old now or so, just about, looking at brand new prices. It's pure insanity. Let's look at, 3070 yeah, that's kind of barking up the same tree where these aren't produced anymore, and sellers online new are just wow, this is crazy. The price, like, okay, I'm just curious, like this EVGA Ultra on Amazon, what the heck? Are these selling? Like these, it's crazy. Where's the price? Oh, okay, so see buying options. 570, 450, even $450 for a 3070 is a ripoff. I mean, I guess some of them are selling to people who don't know anything better. Casey Wall says, already got an AliExpress build put together. Ryzen 5 5600, 32 gigs RAM, 1 terabyte case B450, $241, and a $30 coupon. So, wow, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, like, we could build the build here, and I'm not saying we do it tonight, but we could potentially, use the parts that we're looking for as at least a template to go chase down parts maybe on AliExpress to get something cheaper. Because I do fully intend on taking this through the full series that I normally do. We're doing a live stream tonight just because, well, I hadn't really had any content prepared for a while and haven't done anything, and I figured let's look at the market in the raw together, and then we're going to build this PC and then test and benchmark it, and then I'm going to sell it and try to recoup my money and do this all over again. So, anywho, I'm blabbering. So I'm thinking that in looking for an NVIDIA new card is a pipe dream, but let's see. What about 4060s? What are those going for? That's highest price. $350. Oh, that's one of those low profile ones. That's cool. But yeah, that obviously doesn't fit our budget. That would send it out of the window. So I'm just curious now. So like a 4070. Holy crap. Now, technically, these aren't being produced anymore. I just realized I keep forgetting to share my screen there. 4070 for $765 new on Amazon. That's just ludicrous. But this is the world we're living in. I 100%, even though like this is last gen, those cards should not be going for that much. It's just this is the effect of the market. So obviously I'm not looking at 50 series cards. So anything brand new for the NVIDIA side of house, basically not an option. So let's look at RX 6600 XT. This is on the AMD side of house. Still kind of freaking pricey. 6600 XT is new. Now, older generation. Obviously, these aren't being produced anymore either. Let's just look at 7600. I thought that might look a little better, but it's not really. I like these Hellhound cards. These are nice. But $300 blows our budget. I mean, we're not in we're not in good shape here. RX 5700. Yeah, those are just way too old. So their price ranges are not applicable to PC part pickers. So I guess the summary here is we're gonna have to go hunt and use for sure. Like there's nothing out there that really you can get brand new that is in about the 100. I'll say my max budget may be like $175. That's really pushing it, but there's nothing brand new out there that's worth buying in that price range here, new, like on any of the major markets. So to eBay we go. I'm gonna start with the idea of maybe checking out those 2070, 2080s that looks like the Net Guy and also Nemesis have recommended. So let's check it out. eBay we go. All right. I was searching for stuff in my car earlier. So RX, or no, we want RTX, can't type, RTX 2070. Zoom in a little bit. All right. So typically when I do a eBay search, we're going to just look at buy it now prices. You can bid if you want to try to, drive yourself crazy with that. Conditions, basically all conditions other than for parts. So I just go in here and select all these. Nemesis says, great idea. 6600 XT can be bought used on eBay, 150 to 170 right now. All right. So we might be landing on that. I'm just trying to check the NVIDIA side of house right now. And then we're going to do price plus shipping, lowest first. So that's a water block. That's we're going to get some of this junk to start with. Wow, we're getting a lot. Ugh, prices are going up really fast. Okay, so here's our first actual card for $170. That's kind of, I don't know, not liking the prices here. They're going up really steep, really quick. So this RTX 2070, love my EVGA cards. So, I mean, this looks like a decent card. It's been opened, it looks like. So definitely could see that with the sticker. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but if that's something that irks you as the buyer, then, stay away. That means this card has at least been opened. I wouldn't necessarily say tampering is a bit of a strong word here, but it's been, looks like really well maintained though. Like, so we don't have any corrosion. Like if you see a minor card, you always typically see corrosion here, where it's been probably sitting in a garage or in a less than dry environment. So this isn't a bad buy, but it isn't a great buy. It's $170. I feel like going on Casey's point, we might be able to find something a little better, but this is a 2070 going on, and that's the first cheapest one that we got. I don't know what's up with these Alienware parts here. Like, I guess people buy these and replace them, but these are, OEM specific, which we're not interested in. The next card is a blower style card, which meh, don't like those at all, honestly. And that looks like that came out of an OEM as well. What did this? Yeah, it came out of a Dell. So, I mean, it's not necessarily bad, but it's not necessarily great. Not worth $195 in my opinion. And then the price is just going up and up and up and up. So 2070 might be a bit of a stretch. Casey Wall says 5700 XT outperforms 2070. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking is like we're only going to go up from here, because if I start looking at 2080s, yeah, they're going to be quite a bit more. I mean, that I think that goes without saying, but if we want to entertain the idea of 2080, I got to do all those things again. It's the only thing I don't like. But I'm assuming 2080s are going for 200 to 220 plus. I think I did see something in the comments earlier too by, I believe it was the Net Guy. Always check out your local used markets. So if you live in an area where that is good for you, I live in a large metropolitan area, so I typically, that's kind of my go-to. But if you live in an area where there's a lot of people selling parts, definitely check that out, because one, you can avoid taxes and shipping, and you get to see the card firsthand, maybe even test it. But also, I feel like you can bargain a little bit better too. Yeah, what are 2080s going for here? I think I got all the conditions in there. Price plus shipping, lowest first. Some of the stuff that comes up. A 2080 for 200. Okay, that's about the price of that 2070. So there's one, but still too expensive. So they're going from like $200 and up. Yeah, I'm not really wanting to check that out. Sorry, I wasn't sharing there. So yeah, looking like we're not gonna stick to that option. 3000 series NVIDIA, I have a feeling likely even worse. I'm just checking out NVIDIA as a whole before we go on towards AMD, which I have a strong feeling is where we're going to end up. So I'm going to look at middle of the road card, a 3070, see what these are going for, just to be making sure we're doing our homework right here. Oh, I don't want 4 parts not working. So, okay, there we go. All right. So I got all my conditions right. Price plus shipping, lowest first. Ooh, that might be a good point there, Casey. Yeah, GTX 1080 Ti. Yeah. 3070s. Yeah, look like $250. So basically add 20 to 30 more dollars on top of yeah, so that ain't gonna work. So should I check out the 1080s, 1080 Ti's? I feel like they're good, but at the same time they're also 7, 8 years old. Like they're in that niche where they have that extra VRAM. They were the king of their era, but at the same time, like, they are pretty old. All right, what the heck? Let's take a look. Let's see here. GTX 1080 Ti. These might be tough to find because they are pretty old. All right, let's put in all of our conditions here. 3060 performance, yeah. I mean, that's kind of where we're landing, and the only thing that I would say might give you a one-up on the 3060 is the extra VRAM. What is this? Oh, that's the heatsink. So here's the first listing, $180 mark. This guy loves his GPU. He's got a nice stand for it. This hasn't been opened. So this is a seemingly pretty good condition card. But do we really want to pay $180 for a 7 to 8 year old GPU at this point? I think there's better options. I know there's better options. So, all right. I'm going to close some of these windows. I got so many things open now. All right. Let's look at what else. Should we look at anything on the NVIDIA side of house? Or did we come to the conclusion that probably our best option is a 2070 for about $170, $180? I think it's time to go look at AMD. Yeah, Reluctant Hero brings up a good point too, is even some of these more still played titles that have been around for a long time, say like the 5700 XT, let's say like Fortnite, for example, right? Like, it's been around a long time, and it came out in the days of, I think, Pascal, which we were just talking about, which is, you know, the 1080s graphics cards. That game has gone through developments that make it harder to play. Now, you can tone down the settings or even put it into performance mode or whatever, but that game is introducing things like ray tracing and introducing these extra things that these older video cards just simply have no understanding of knowing how to do. So, like, for an example, the 5700 XT or the Pascal card from GeForce or NVIDIA, you know, those cards are dated back so much that some of these newer game engine features that they basically can't support. So that's a good point to bring up, because, you know, I feel like we can get something that's more supported for the same amount of money. So Casey Walls keeps saying 6600 XT. Let's take a look. All right, RX 6600 XT, and put in our conditions again. I think when we looked at it on PC Part Picker, they were still inflated price because they're brand new, but they were way more reasonable. All right, price plus shipping, lowest first. Here we go. $10. No, just kidding. It's the box. What is this? $40. This has got to be something that's broken. Make sure I didn't put my conditions for parts. What is this? Oh, is that? Did I put buy now? Oh, I did not. Buy now. There we go. So that was a bid. Oh, hey. Oh, low profile. 138. That's kind of cool. Like, I want to buy some more low profile cards just to have them. But RX 550. Okay, never mind. What the heck? It somehow caught that in the search. Here we are. So RX 6600 XT from Asus. $180 buy it now. So we're kind of sitting in about the territory of the 2070 price from earlier. 6600 XT, a way more modern card. So what was the competitor from? Yeah, so it's 5000 series, I believe. Yeah. So this is a generation higher than the NVIDIA counterpart card range, or the era. So AMD was producing the 5000 series cards. So the 5700 XT was, I think it does outperform the 2070. So you're in around that area. So we're definitely stepping it up. We should be, I think, in a good price range here, $180. Dude, if you don't buy it, I'm gonna get the what is he saying? Casey Wells says 6600 XT, biggest bang for the buck. I think I'm agreeing with you here. 2060 Super has 8 gig of VRAM, says Reluctant Hero, rather than a 2060 that has 6 gig. That's also a good point. 2060 Super is definitely going to be outperformed by the 6600 XT. So this is a good buy here. And Casey, if you want to buy it. I'm just pointing out card prices for now. I'll likely have to make some alterations when I actually buy the parts, but let's take a look at this card just for sake of taking a look at a card. Pointers I give out. So one, this card is not, looks like it has been tampered with, hasn't been opened. The sticker over the bracket is still intact. Not like it's not a make or break, but at the same time, it's always nice to see, especially buying a secondhand card. I like that he's put the label up with the card so you know what you're getting. He's definitely trying to show you are getting a 6600 XT. So he's like, this is someone who knows how to sell hardware. Yeah, I mean, this is a good buy. I'd buy this for $180 if we did. Where does that land us? So if we bought it for $180, so we'd have about $100 worth of budget to manage a case and power supply. That's very doable. I think this might be honestly the best scenario. Now it looks like some of them are starting to go up in price pretty quick. The next real card, because these are like low profile cards, those are also 6400s. Somehow my search is getting those. This Power Color, which is a bit of a, I would say like a higher end brand when it comes to RX cards. $200, so $20 more, yeah. Okay. So in around the range of $200 or $180 to $200. I want to pencil this one in, or keep this one bookmarked. So I'm going to duplicate my tab and run on over to, okay, that was it. Right here. So what other cards should we look at? I feel like if we go, I'm going to have some dogs barking, sorry. These sausage dogs, they bark a lot. Sorry about that, guys. So what's comparable to this? We could, I think if you go up to like well, let's see what the 6700 XTs go for, but I have a feeling they're going to go for quite a bit more. So that was my 6400. I'm going to close that tab. So let's just see what they're going for. All right, so again, we got to put in our conditions, blah, 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 blah. 6700 XTs, Casey says, are from China, and there is 5 available. I'm about to buy them all. Save me one, man. Nah, it's all good. You buy those cards. Ooh, they're good priced. I can see why you want to buy them. Oh, they're like all the same card. This, I feel like, is a bit of an anomaly. That's a good point. And that guy's bringing up 6650, which is kind of the in-between. So we'll check that out, too. That's a really good price for a 6700 XT, I'm not going to lie. You get 4 more gigs of VRAM. We're talking almost the same exact price. Now, you buy from China, so, take it with a grain of salt. Let's look at this listing. So it looks like, yeah, there's definitely some effort. Wow, I didn't realize the 6700 XT had that much extra power delivery requirement. 2 8-pins, I think, versus just the one from the 67 or 6600 XT. But yeah, these are real photos. This is good to see. It's not just a photo of a box or a marketing photo or anything like that. So this is definitely, yeah, this card looks like in pristine condition too. Now getting it from China, it's like, okay, yeah, this thing has not been tampered with. It might take you a while to get it. So if you're hard pressed to get something quickly, especially in today's times, it might take you a few weeks or so. But if you got patience, this is a heck of a buy. I almost want to buy right now. I'm penciling this as one of my potentials here. But let's take a look. What are the other prices? So I think this looks like, yeah, possibly the same user, like a different seller, but it looks like the same exact photos, which is a little bit interesting. What do you guys think is going on with that? I don't know. Maybe there's just multiple cards, but I wouldn't be too worried about it if it was from the same seller, but that is interesting. Now, this is what is also interesting. $200 for those, and then it jumps all the way up to $300 for the next listings. So, do you want to buy from China? I mean, look at that. That's $100 difference. So, the only thing that worries me a little bit here is the fact that these two are going for $200, and then all of a sudden the next cheapest one's $300. So it really looks like the real kind of ballpark range is around $300. So I don't know. Casey, you want to buy one and then report back? See if I'd hate to say, encourage you to go get ripped off, but I don't know if this is legit or not. It seems legit. Like I think I wasn't sharing my screen earlier, but this card looks really, really good in terms of condition. Check out all the details of the seller here. Used like new, blah, blah, blah. Fully working, powerhouse performance for 1440p. So this isn't generic copied. Like this is someone's custom written. Some of it is. Like this isn't just written by it. Like maybe it's written by AI, but at least it's not copied from manufacturer or marketing language. Okay, I mean, this person looks like sells a lot of stuff. So I'll always take a look at that too. 100% positive feedback, 36 items sold. Take it with a grain of salt. It very well could be just fine. I kind of almost want to take the risk and buy it as well because looks like there's at least two. All right. Just curious because the neck guy mentioned it. All right, so we've got a 6600 XT as a possibility for 180. We bump it up to 200. We can go 6700 XT. What does a RX 6650 XT go for? This might be tight to find one. I feel like they really produce more of these than the 6700s or the 6600s. That's what I kind of worry is. Even though it's kind of like that in between, it may not go for a decent price because they weren't produced as much, but we'll see. All right, so all conditions, buy it now, and we don't want highest, we want lowest. $6. No, just kidding. 175. Oh, that's a 6600. So why did my 6600 search not pick that up? Now I'm getting a bunch of, those are normal 6600s. That's what's happening. So careful with that. The non-XT versions are popping up here. So that's why I wondered about the availability of the 6650. Yeah, I'm not seeing one yet. There's one. A 3-fan card. Not opposed to 3-fan cards. I have one in my system, but I have a giant case. But for buying a budget system, I'm not looking to put my equipment in a giant case, so I have a feeling I try to steer away from 3-fan cards when building budget PCs just because they tend to take up a lot of space. What is your guys' opinion on that? I think that's a reasonable opinion. So I don't really like this card. There's more 6600, more 6600. Here's a 1650 from Swift for $250. See, this is what I thought. Is the 6700 outperforms this guy. But this is the cheapest one so far, minus that gigabyte card that was 3 fans. This guy's asking for $30 more or $50 more if we consider the ones from China. So I just like, these are kind of like a niche card, I feel like, that if you can find maybe a local seller, then you might be able to bargain more, but I don't know. You're going to have a lot of listings on eBay, probably the most ever. You could take to maybe Jawa, which we could do. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning off the 6650 just because they're tough to find, it seems like, I think. I just don't think they were produced as much. Reluctant Hero says the 6650 is basically a 7600. That was going to be my next check. Oh, I'm curious what the 7600s are going for, because that could be a good option if it comes in cheaper. Because, yeah, you got a little bit more performance than a 6600 XT. You've got, some of the more modern features to the card that support some of the modern game engine stuff that we were talking about. Could be a good option, so let's look at that. It's just a normal 7600. Dang, look at this. 137. Oh wait, I don't want to buy it now on. Dang it, I keep doing that to myself. 7600, that's a fancy 3 fan card. Sorry guys, I keep switching scenes here on you. So this one came up, said 229, so 250 for 7600. That's about what that 6650 was going for. It's kind of going up from there. What did I see earlier? I'm gonna hit back. So this is what I saw earlier. Okay, yeah, it's a bid. I'm gonna say that's a nice card for $137. Really nice, but it's a bid. Don't be afraid to do some bids, but at the same time, I don't think you're gonna maybe you can get a deal. You just really have to work for it. So anyway, back to the idea of so we know NVIDIA is out. Unless we maybe go with a 1080 Ti or possibly a 2070. And those are pretty old. The cheapest option right now, a 6600 XT for $180, roughly in thereabouts. If we go with the 6700 XT, we're looking like we might have some kind of anomalous buys from China, but there's 2 of them, so they're $200. A little slightly hesitant with that. 6650s going for the cheapest one here, 210. So this, oh yeah, maybe I missed this other one. Yeah, so this one's going for 210, not bad, and they kind of go up from there. A little bit harder to find, so they looking like they are going for about 250, and then yeah, going up from there. 7600s just keep going up. So I think we found at least our sweet spot with RX or AMD cards. So let's keep that penciled, because I did see one good comment in the chat, and that is, let me see here, can I do that pin message? Yeah. So Casey's message of look up ARC cards. And I have heard this before, and I've not worked with an ARC card, but I've heard that they're generally pretty good budget cards. So let's give it a shot and see where they land. Now, I think most of that stuff's going to be pretty new. I don't know much about them. I think what the ARC 580, so A580 is the kind of like the budget one, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, guys, because I really just don't know. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to PC Part Picker and see if we can just find one. Just curious. ARC 5 Intel. Okay, so A 580. 8 gigs of RAM, $270. So what is all the ARC cards about here? So, okay, so here's the A580. Oops. A580. Not really much going on. I've heard of this Sparkle brand. I think this is kind of like, there's no price on that. And then this ASRock card is $280. What is a, so that A750 is what Casey's mentioning. $200. What's the, okay, so it looks like, yeah, the 7, if you go by numbers, it looks like the 750 outperforms. Just curious on the specs. So 8 gigs of memory, GDDR6, 2600 core clock. I think that this outperforms the 580s that if I ARC 580, A580. Seems like it, yeah. Casey says A750 is $175 on eBay, so that kind of really puts us right there in the middle of where we are looking at. What is this? Duplicate this tab. Intel Arc A750. Buy it now. Conditions. All the conditions except for... Alright, so that doesn't have any 4 parts. We'll just hit any condition. Price with shipping lowest first. There's 175, I think, what Casey was talking about. That's a nice looking card. I've never used one before. The only thing I'm hesitant about with Intel being so new to the game is the fact that they are so new to the game. Drivers are kind of like how AMD has been, or yeah, some. This is a nice card though. This is like a collector's item almost. What do you guys think? I could buy 2 for 171 a piece, or I could buy 4 for over just 166. It's 190 new on Amazon. So these are, I'm not sure what the A750s came out. I think they're still relatively new. So in terms of modern, so when did the any you guys know when those came out? So ARC A750 release. October 12th of when? That's drivers. I'm pretty sure these are pretty darn new cards. When did this come out? I could ask ChatGPT or something. Let's do it. When did the Intel Arc A750 graphics card release? If you guys not use some AI tools, get on board with it because they are pretty awesome. So 2022, so this is the most modern card for the price range. I'm kind of intrigued by the card to use it, I'm not gonna lie. What do you guys think? Should I go with it? It's the same price. I don't know anything about the performance. That's the only thing. If I'm going based on specs, what are the tech specs? We're asking ChatGPT some more of the card. So 2.1 base clock, can boost up to 2.45. That's pretty freaking fast for like a budget card. It's got some ray tracing cores, tensor cores, 8 gigs of RAM. The 8 gigs of RAM is, in the budget range, I would say. Pretty low power, 225 watt, recommended 500 watt power supply. What do you guys think? rebar is enabled or performance will suck. Oh, interesting. See, that's the only thing so that's worrisome. If that be the case, Casey, some of these budget boards and CPUs don't support rebar. So if I'm going with a 4500, it's not going to support rebar. Is that really a thing? It's that dependent on rebar? Trying to read on it a little bit, because that really stinks if that's it says it has resizable bar support, but if it's super, like, I haven't really done enough research on rebar, so if it's that dependent on rebar to be a good performing card, I'd hate to make this kind of recommendation. All right, putting in the chat. Let's see if I can do a poll. All right, start a poll. I think RX 6600 XT. Let me see. Which GPU to get? RX 6600 XT. RX 6700 XT. Or ARC. So that was the 750 GTX 1080 Ti. Or, oh, is it only going to give me those options? All right, we'll just do /RTX. I think we're out the window with NVIDIA, but whatever. All right, here we go. Tell me what card to get. Jason Whitmer in the chat. Hey man, how's it going? Appreciate you jumping in, man. You are popping off. You are growing fast, man. Hats off to you. I think you zoomed way past me in sub count. So congrats, sir. What card should I get? Why can't I see my? Oh, I'm gonna unpin Casey's thing here for now. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. So if I go with that 6700 XT, I'm gonna have to gamble on possibly China. Let's see what's while we let the poll kind of settle. Let's go check out if Jawa's got anything cool. From my experience, Jawa's listings kind of run on par with like eBay listings, and there's a whole lot less of them. No offense to Jawa, great place, but I think it's a better place for buying PCs or selling PCs as a whole rather than actual parts. But let's give it a shot. Let's see, popular search. I think, hold on. I want to just do components, GPUs. Let's look at AMD. I'm literally just going to look at price. Okay, lowest price. All right, there's a 580. I don't want a 580. Where do I go to the next page? I'm not real familiar with Jawa. Oh, there's just more down here. Got it. Okay. So, what is this $150 card? This is a 5600. No, we don't want that. Pulse RX 6600 for $200. That's not a good deal. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Yeah, not 5700 XT. Is this just the card? For $300? Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is not it. This is not a good deal. This is kind of what I was talking about. There isn't really a whole lot on Jawa for just components, so looks like AMD listings are out the window. I can't imagine NVIDIA being any better. All right, let's double check. One more thing, GPUs. Want to go with NVIDIA route. This is just going to be for the giggles. Lowest price, unless we find a killer 2070 price or something. 1650, nope. A 1050 for $90. Come on, those are worth like $20. 1070 for 100, no way. I thought Joe was supposed to keep these sellers accountable here. Keep them honest. All right, 1080 for 130. That's regular 1080. If we can find it, there's a 2060, 2060. Prices are going up quickly. Not looking like it. 3050 for $180. What? A water blocked. Yeah, so none of this. Yeah, NVIDIA. Now, I think they also give you the option to search for. So let's go components again. GPUs. Intel, yeah. So there's a 580 for 150. The 580 does way underperform the 750 from what I understand. So not really a fantastic buy. I think a lot of people compare those to the performance of like an RX 580. That might be a little far-fetched. Yeah, there's only 580s on here on Jawa. So unfortunately, Jawa is not it. So let's take a look at the poll. Nobody wants me to go with the ARC GPU. You guys don't want to see me squirm with that? Okay. And nothing on Pascal or first gen RTX. Yeah, so I pretty much expected this result. So 6700 XT is what we're saying to go with. So that's what we found here. One of these two cards. I'm going to just refresh the page just to make sure they're still there. So if these are legit, which based on looking at the pictures, so we'll go back to that. You know, we got a picture of someone holding it. The pictures are the, you know, GPU out of the box. So it's not a stock photo. I mean, every angle of it looks really good. And I realize I'm not showing you guys. Sorry, guys. Oh, let's double check. Yep, and it says 6700 XT. Again, not open, untampered with. Beautiful looking card, honestly. This is, and actually, we had some like white / silver / black aesthetic. I mean, let's go with it. I'm gonna have to buy this thing stat though. Coming from China too, so I really wonder how long that's gonna take me to get it. But let's just pencil that in with the idea stating that you can get yourself an RX. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Is there any in my local market that I can find for about the same price? Again, that's still very dependent on your local market, but if I look at my local market, 6700 XT, 300, 275, 400. Oh, here's one for 200. No, that's a 6600. Hey, I think the real true price is probably more reflectant on what we found here on eBay, honestly, guys. Like these rare anomaly cards are $200 and then it goes straight up to 300. Like, kind of leaves me a little bit worried. So like, let me show you this card here. Like, this guy's selling a pretty nice looking one. So here's one for like $275 in my local market. So $275. I don't know if we can focus on that or what, but yeah, kind of hard to see. But I'm really hesitant. I'm not real sure if I want to say like this is, I mean, $200. It's not a realistic price. That's the only thing. It's like an anomaly. And I try to be transparent with you guys in terms of what real prices are. So if we go back to the 6600 XT, we saw many of these going for the $170 to $180 price. Yeah, Casey, you're right. I mean, I'm not worried about. What I'm worried about is my own transparency to you guys. Is I'm trying to deliver a piece of content that says, hey, you can use this as an example of what to go get. And this might be the only time you see a $200 6700 XT. Like, I can't find one anywhere. Even my local used markets, they're going for like $75 more. I might be able to, talk the guy if I were to bargain with him down to $200. Do have eBay protection, so I'm not worried about it potentially losing money or potentially even getting the wrong product. What I'm most worried about is delivering transparency to my viewers and what a real reflectant price of a 6700 XT is more looking like a $300 card, not a $200 card, even though there's these two here. I mean, I'm not buying these tonight, so I might wake up tomorrow morning and these are gone, so that everything that I've said so far, basically not a lie, but not accurate. So my whole idea is I want to, there are tons of $180-ish level listings for the 6600 XT, which I did get some of the vote on. But yeah, the 6700 XT, as much as I'd love to go with it, that's a powerhouse card for a $500 build. But that's the idea, is trying to deliver something that's repeatable, because if you ever go into content creation, and I think Jason here in the chat and also the other guys, the Net Guy, Blind Tech, they'll all tell you that people will hold you accountable to fire with what you say and what you produce on the internet. So yeah, and I totally get you there, Casey. If you're looking for the cheapest bargain and you want to make profit, so that's cool. I mean, you can also make content around that, but then that content would be more tailored towards, hey, here's some deals, snipe them. So if you want a deal and you want to snipe it, go after the 6700 XT that I got on screen. I'm really tempted to buy it. Don't get me wrong, but that would mean this PC is more of a $600 PC than a $500 PC. So anyway, I think we're going to scale it back. And we're going to go with something more along the lines of the 6700 XT for $180. And we saw many consistent listings for around $180. So I'm going to pencil that in for our video card. We had a lot of discussion on that. So RX, I'm just going to find one randomly here. 6600 XT. Just going to choose this one. Add it to part list. But then I'm going to modify the actual real price of roughly $180. Yeah, I agree with you, Casey. 6600, still real great for what this PC is really targeted for. So, all right. So, where does that leave us? $400. So, like I said, we're right in the ballpark of trying to find a case and power supply, hoping we can get roughly a $50 part of each, and then this build's done. Reluctant Hero asks, did you look at used RX 6600 non-XTs? I did. There was some that popped up. They are a fair bit cheaper by about $30 to $40. I think where our budget allows us is we can make that step up to the XT version and get us a little bit more video card that would still meet our budget. So that's an option if you want to save a little bit of money and put more into your case, or put more into some different RAM or whatever. So I would definitely say there isn't a huge difference between the two, but if you want a little bit more power out of the box, that's what I'm kind of aiming for. All right, we're getting close to the end here. Let's take a look at cases, and typically what I do with cases is I just kind of search by lowest price and kind of just see what I like and see what kind of fits the build, really. AliExpress is another good place to be looking for cases, but again, like I said, I bought a case from AliExpress. I think those are a little more niche of a buy, and it took me forever to get it. So, let's see what we got here. I kind of like this Cooler Master case, but I've built it in before. It's all right. We got to target around the $40 to $60 mark. Yeah, that's good. That's a good point there too. Reluctant Hero. Just go with the 6600, and yeah, we might be able to get more bang for their buck when it comes to memory. All right, let's see what do we got here. What I'm trying to target for a case is something that doesn't look goofy and kind of just like gives us some fans, maybe some RGB, kind of more of a standard looking case. That thing looks wild. That thing looks ugly. I'm not gonna lie. Never mind. No thanks. I'm gonna skip that one. We're starting to get more expensive. B gears. What is that? Thermal take. Says that kind of like aquarium style look, but doesn't come with these fans though. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna be this picking and choosing here on the cases here. So I'm curious. This is just out of curiosity. I highly doubt this case comes with this many fans, if it comes with any at all. But this might be something. This I see Blind Tech mentioning the Okino Cypress. I think that's what this one kind of looks like. I recall the brand name and the kind of like look of the case. So we're gonna try to narrow in our options here. But what I'm looking at here is this case. Of course, you know, the stock photos always produce the most beautiful looking thing ever. Can accommodate up to 7 fans, but let's see how many fans actually come with it. Fans sold separately. Yeah, so this is just the open $50 box. So this is, fortunately, not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's going to have some fans. I know we can get more. So I'm going to just hit X on that guy. I'm going to move on. Let's see if I can find Okinos. Do they, where do those come from? There we go. Okinos Aqua 3. A little more expensive. Oh yeah, I'm used to seeing that. Oh, that is a pretty nice looking case. I do like that. So on Amazon, does it come with fans? That's pretty solid looking case, not gonna lie. Let's see. Amazon usually doesn't tell you if it comes with fans or something. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. Show more. Built-in 4-port ARGB controller featuring 4-port ARGB controller. Actually, so a lot of comments towards this case. PC Part Picker doesn't have it, I think. Okay. Is this not the one you're thinking of, Blind Tech? Cypress 3? Oh, this isn't the Cypress 3. This is a little different one. Okay. And I think this one... Does it say it comes with fans? I'm just going to look for fans. No. Oh, okay. What it supports, but does it have it? I think this is still kind of a little bit out of her budget with it being $67. I'm really trying to do like maybe 60 at the most. Okino Cypress 3. Okay, where can we even find that? That was Cypress 3. Oh, they have a website. Okay. Ooh, the wood version. Case. Where do they sell these at? Cypress 3. This one you're talking about? Okino Cypress 3 8RGB. Is this the one you're talking about, Blind Tech? Okay. Where the heck do you buy these from? Store. Oh, they have a Amazon page. Okino. Well, let's see. Maybe I can just search from here. Yeah, I thought I've seen these Okinos before. Okay, Cypress 3. Oh, there we go. Nice. This actually... Does it do you know if this comes with all the fans? Or how many fans does it come with? It does come with 4 fans. Sweet. I mean, this is actually a really good deal for 61 bucks. 62. I have not built in this case yet, actually. I don't think I haven't built in an Okino's case at all. I have seen the popularity growing with them, though. This one I'm really, like, thanks for the recommendation here. This one kind of checks all the boxes. Like, so the thing I'm trying to do, too, is try to create some resale factor, because I'm investing my own cash into this. This is, none of these parts are coming to me from a vendor. So whatever like, basically it's an investment into the channel. So I think a lot of you guys that build PCs and have content creation know how that goes. ARGB hub does not have any extra ports for extra ARGB. Oh, that's good thing to know. I mean, for a budget build, I think that's fine. Like, yeah, you know, I guess it's somewhat misleading when they put 2 more RGB fans at the top, and I guess 1 even on the cooler, and the case doesn't support it. But I'm really kind of liking this case. Somebody said something else about another case, though. Big Phoenix Nova Mesh M is a great one as well. Like, I really don't want to spend any more than like 62 bucks. And having some RGB, as who says it? Tech Yes City. RGB sells PCs, or LEDs sells PCs, as he says. So, and I do tend to agree with him on that. So let's look at, what do we say here? Bitphoenix Nova Mesh M. Where are these sold? Might be on Amazon too. Let me just look on Amazon. Bitphoenix. What was that called again? Nova Mesh M. Ooh. Is that a little cheap? Or Nova Mesh MATX? This is like 60 bucks for the Nova Mesh MATX. This guy right here. It's white. Which could go with our build a little bit. Yeah. Because we've got, go back to the part list. We've got, well, we said we're going to go with that white RAM, or white/silvery RAM from Newegg. That isn't on PC Part Picker, so I just penciled in a price here for this Corsair Vengeance. And then we've got this white/black storage drive. We said we could possibly paint the shroud on the Ryzen cooler white, and then the video card, if we do end up getting one, maybe we can try to find one that's white, or even paint the do some painting as well. I'm kind of liking the idea of going with this white one. Sama 8RGB Q5 over on Newegg. Yeah, that's a good one. I've used that one before. Oh, Blind Tech says they should go for normally 55 to... Yeah, I've seen sometimes like prices fluctuate. It's part of the reason why we're doing this stream, because prices are in such flux right now. Okay, does this bit Phoenix mesh? Who recommended this? That was Casey. Does this also come with RGB fans? Looks like it does. It says 3 times 120 millimeter ARGB fans. Okay. I'm kind of feeling like this is our winner because it comes with... It's white. It kind of also meets our white aesthetic a little bit, so we can kind of mix the white and black theme with some of the other parts that are going into it. So I think this could be a pretty good looking white and black, plus heck, we could set, like, it says ARGB. Do you know if it has a controller? I'm assuming you've built in this, or... Let's see. I'm going to look at the other one you said, Roswell FBM. Yeah. I think, is this it? FBM? Or maybe it's not sold on Amazon. I've noticed Roswell is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes, like, let's see, are they on PC Part Picker? Roswell. FBM. Okay. The Helix. This comes with a power supply. Look at this. Oh boy. Hold on. Does it really actually come with... Yes, it does. I definitely wouldn't trust that. This thing comes with a power supply. Yeah, that's budget. Ugh, a nasty, like, ketchup and mustard power supply. Oh. Here's the FBM X3, which is $80 though, but also comes with a power supply. I don't know about trusting integrated sales with power supplies, but it's 80 plus gold apparently. Does look a little better. Like, I've never done that. I've never once. Typically that's usually a steer away sign, but I don't know, maybe it's okay. I don't know. We don't even know anything about that power supply though. It just says Roswell 650. It's a B plus on tier. Are you serious? No way. Do you know what? Well, I mean, that's a killer deal if that's the case. It gets everything we need, plus we have $20 extra, roughly. Okay, I've got to figure out what this type of, like, I trust you, but I'd love to confirm. Does that have a ketchup and mustard cables? Did it show? I think it showed like some black cables. So probably not going to be doing any kind of sleeves. Yeah, it looks like black cables. Roswell 650 watt 80 plus, but I don't know what the model is. Dang. Okay. Well, I'm kind of liking your confidence in that. Let's bring up the PSU tier list. Here's Zax. Should we try Zax? But I don't even know how to use it here. Let's see. New and improved PSU tier link updated for 2025. This is the first time seeing this. Oh, this is on a spreadsheet. Google Docs sheet. Roswell. Well, this isn't even on his list. Or am I looking at this right? How am I? This is. Try to just look over. Tab at the bottom. Ah, here we go. Full list with limited confidence ratings Main list, proper ratings. Okay, whoa. Yeah, that's pretty serious. Found something. 650. I'm guessing this is probably it. B plus. Is this it? Is this the power supply, guys? I'm going for it if that's the case. SMG. Let's see. Does this say? I can't see it. Let's do a Google search of Roswell SMG. SMG 7 or 650. That was a 650, right? Yeah. That's a very different looking power supply. But doesn't necessarily. Maybe that's just a newer. Just vibe pick one. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking so too, man. I mean, yeah, like I try, especially with a $500 build, I try not to get super crazy, like anal about the tier list. So, okay. My options are go with the Bit Phoenix white case that kind of hits our aesthetic. I mean, it's white, but we're not really focused too hard on aesthetic right now. Go with the case that Blind Tech recommended, which is, let me go back over our options here. Let's get it back on screen. So this is the one Blind Tech recommended. Looks like a great case. 62 bucks. Yeah, pretty solid. Comes with 4 fans. Hits everything that we need. The next case being this Nova, Bit Phoenix Nova. It's white, 3 fans. Looks pretty solid. Hits the same price range. Or we go with this guy, which is the Roswell FMB X3 with an included apparent B plus 650 watt power supply. And also has some RGB. Is that like, what is that on the side? Is that just like a mesh side? Yeah, it looks like that's just like a mesh side. Yeah. What shall we do, boys? Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, let's pencil the cases for now. We kind of got about the idea. Yeah, I'm sure the mesh sides are. The only thing I think about with that is the fact that, you know, tempered glass is the craze where everybody likes to be able to look in and see their parts and stuff. So, I mean, so Casey, you've sold a lot of those before. They've done pretty well for you for flipping. Let's see. I'm just looking at power supplies for the moment. Here's the infamous Thermaltake Smart that we were talking about earlier. Actually, I want to see that. Let's look at his list here. This is pretty extensive. I like this. So Thermaltake Smart. No. Smart. Is this Thermaltake? What is this? Oh, high power. Okay, who's got the smart power supplies? Power spec and Thermaltake. Okay, Thermaltake's smart white is what we're looking for. White. Okay. F. All right. If that speaks to the discussion we had about power supplies earlier, Zach's Tech Turf rates it as an F. I mean, this isn't obviously just it's information he's gathered, but let's see. Let's look at the other power supplies. I try to steer away from them just because you can typically find like this Apivia Prestige. I know I believe this is a tier C power supply, so this is kind of perfect. Pretty sure, I've used this one several times. Let me double check Mr. Zach's list. Apivia Where is it? Where is it finding it? Okay. What was the name of that again? It was the Prestige. Prestige. What? C. Yeah. So C rating. That's completely fine for a $500 PC. $50, $52. MSI Mag. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. MSI Mag. They're not out here. I'm just literally sorting by cheapest power supplies and working my way down from there. Mag 650 is on sale for $50. It's a solid buy. Where is that at? Is it not? I guess it's maybe not on PC Part Picker. Come on, PC Part Picker, be better. Oh, I've used it. Actually, I think I got one over there. An MSI Mag. So probably what, on Amazon? Let's take a look. MSI Mag. Is it B650? Wait, what? Oh, I think you're talking about the motherboard. Oh, A650. There we go. Yeah. These I know are decent buys too. 650, $60 or $50. Oh, so said you saw it for $50? Reluctant Hero, where are you seeing it for $50? Used market power supplies. Yeah, I try to steer away from at least that. Not to say that you can't do that. I've definitely done it before. If you're really, profit oriented, yeah, absolutely. I would definitely say as long as it's a good rated power supply, or even OEMs are very good for reliability. I'm not sure where Reluctant Hero seen the MSI Mag though. Let me go back to here. MSI Mag 59. Not a bad power supply. It's just 10 more bucks than I want to spend if I don't have to. So the Montec, or not Montec. I lost it. A PVA Prestige for $52. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, power supplies tend to. I feel like they fluctuate $10 to even $15 sometimes, like quite often. But I don't know. I'm thinking our best buy here is the PVA Prestige. Not to poo-poo on your idea, Casey, about the combo deal with that one power supply, but I'm kind of just not a fan as much of the case for resale factor, honestly. So that so $50. So we basically need case for $50. Oh man, this is so tight because. Well, let's go back to cases. Let's just see. Let's see. Lowest price. So we need a case for like right at $50. That could be hard. What kind of... Now we got to look at what kind of substitutions can we make here. I mean, we are basically, so if we went the Intel route, we would be completely blown out right now. We would be spending a little bit more. Now, okay, motherboard, I think we can go back and find a used motherboard. We can definitely, I think, find a B450. We don't need Wi-Fi. We just happen to find that. But $75 for that motherboard is really, I think, a bit too much. And it's really impeding our ability to get you know, a good looking case, not a piece of junk. So let's see what we can find. Someone mentioned Amazon Warehouse earlier, and I want to do the same first. I think if you just go up here and do warehouse, I'm looking for it on Amazon. Hold on. Just trying to make my selection since I'm already there. Where is it? Amazon Warehouse. Come on. Nope, not Whole Food. All departments. Warehouse. Sometimes I have a problem getting to the warehouse. I don't know why. I'm going to just type in Amazon Warehouse. There we go. Nope, that's not what I want. Heck with it. We'll just do this. B450 motherboard. All right. So we had one for $75. Here's one right off the rip for $65. Don't really like the look of this guy, so let's scroll on down the list a little bit. 77, 70, 68, 70. We need to get one for like, it would be nice to get one for like 50 bucks. Let's see here. Yeah, thinking, let's do, that saves us 10 bucks right here going with this guy. 2 dim slot, 4 pin EPS, meh, kind of a junker board. All right, let's go. We want like no more than like 80 bucks. No less than like 30. Go. Will we find anything? Let's see. $50. What is that? It's not even an AM4 motherboard. 66, 70. I don't even know these brands here. Let's check eBay. Let's check it out. Oops. B450 motherboard. And we want buy it now. The thing I like about buying B450 motherboards on eBay in particular, or you know, even just like say local used markets or whatever in your area, is it's way less they won't get damaged as easily because they don't have pins on the board. So it's kind of a nice assurance factor for buying AM4 motherboards. All right, so that's a B450 ASRock. I mean, okay board. Really kind of very, very okay. I don't want to buy can't buy a full-size board because we're getting a small motherboard or a case. Come on, stay cheap. Okay, Geek Tech. What? Never heard of Geek Tech. Interesting. Never heard of Geek Tech. What is this? Y'all ever heard of this? But okay, let's see. Oh, 58 bucks now. Oh, do I have it on buy now? I do have it. And priceless shipping conditions are all okay. I just don't want 4 parts. This is a okay. Who sells a old B450 box for $30 on eBay? Someone who wants to trick somebody. Jerks. Here's a machinist board that I think sells on AliExpress for much less. We're going up there in price. The only reason I'm sticking to eBay is because it's much more prominently available than even, say, AliExpress. B450 HVD ASRock board. Thanks for no pictures that are really clear to see anything here, buddy. Probably fine, but B550 boards are showing 75. Let's see what you got. All right, I am baffled as well. Okay, there's an ugly Sama ATX case for $40 in Yeah, I'm trying to not go the whole ugly way because we're looking for resale factor. eBay has got money back guarantee, blah, blah, blah. Get ASRock one for 60. Never heard of the GFS or whatever. Skip that. B550 boards are showing $75 on eBay. I'm kind of thinking maybe possibly this one. This guy, this is also a 4-pin. So this is a cheapo 2 DIMM slot board. Like, give me something here. 75 bucks, and now we're getting up there in price. These B450s are really starting to come up there. Like, I'm just trying to find something that's got 4 DIMM slots. Doesn't need to have Wi-Fi. This kind of stinks. We don't have a whole lot to work with anymore. Just curious. B550 is probably definitely going to go for more. And now we got to do new open box. I feel like there might have been more options on eBay Warehouse, possibly, or eBay Warehouse, Amazon Warehouse. P5, yeah, these are all large boards, and they're going for high price. Arrgh. Come on, go back to B450s. Oh, where to go from here, guys? $66, $70. I basically need to save 10 bucks to put us in the range, because we're at 450 right now. Case, going back to case here. I mean, I can get a cheap case and call it a day. 42 bucks. I think this thing doesn't come with any fans. Or if it does, it might be RGB, maybe. I just don't like that case all that much, to be flat honest. What is this? Hang on. N1 Esport DIY PC. I kind of like it. There's no like RGB, not necessarily a game breaker here. But if it's got some like, it's only got like one white fan in the rear. Yeah. I'm really surprised I'm having a hard time finding a motherboard. Might have to go with a 2 DIMM slot motherboard. Let me refine my search again. Ooh, Newegg has an open box Gigabyte B550 for 68 bucks. That might do it. Yeah, like what I'm looking at here is, oh wait, $70. Okay, hold on, check this out. Okay, so this is 80, but then there was others. New and used. $70. This is like the cheapest one here. 70 bucks for this 4 DIMM slot AM4 motherboard. This ain't a bad buy. 70 bucks if you not include shipping, which can vary. I typically don't try to include shipping in my price builds just because that varies, person to person, state to state, country to country. So it's kind of again, a template to kind of run from. I think most YouTubers do that as well. And where was those options? Buying options. Buy other ways. No. Here we go. Other sellers. No, that's typically what happens too. So this is a seller that is selling on Amazon. I was skeptical, went ahead and gave it a shot. Couldn't be more pleased. I mean, for a motherboard that costs 70 bucks, I'm not real worried about. But this is definitely a reseller on Amazon. Selling this board. Target deals, or deal targets. 68% positive. I mean, looks like some people... some people got screwed. Some people didn't. I'm kind of inclined to click on that one because if we go with a $70, well, we're only saving $5. We really need a motherboard that's going to come in at like 60 bucks. Let's go back to searching just from PC Part Picker. Man, I thought we would nail this down. Motherboard. B450. Lowest price. Jeez. That was I forgot that was the second one on the list. AliExpress still a way to go. Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, we're stuck. We need the only other way to save some money is to go down on storage, which I really wouldn't advise just due to the latest things in the market. So what do we do? Let's see. Did I explore all options with B450s on eBay? I think we are probably, what is happening here is we're starting to see the beginning of the end, potentially with cheap budget B450 motherboards where I remember buying B450s new for like 40, 50 bucks. But try B350. I don't even think you could flash BIOS. That probably wouldn't work with that 4500. Reluctant Hero, that's a good option, but that's a pricey option that isn't just working for us. We're trying to find something $60 or less, basically. $60, $65 or less. So check this out. Yeah, this is the ASRock B450 HDV 4.0. So although this guy's pictures aren't good, they're at least legit, but that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, what did I copy? I had something else copied. Hang on. I'm getting lots of tabs on my screen. There we go. So this is the board I'm eyeballing on eBay. Pretty run-of-the-mill basic. In fact, very run-of-the-mill basic. But does it mean it's bad? No. You get your basic needs. Like for a $500 build, for the 65 watt chip, the 65 watt CPU that we're going to put in it, this thing's fine. Now you're basically at your max probably with that kind of CPU. I wouldn't be putting Ryzen 7s into a board like this. But the way the market is looking, it's looking like B450 is drying up. And especially with kind of the price hikes on parts and things here, roughly from what we've seen, everything's been pretty okay, other than GPUs are kind of inflated and goofy. But yeah, I think it might just be more of a beginning of the end in terms of availability of, like, say, B450 motherboards. There's no way we would have been able to find like a B660 plus Intel combo that would be meeting this ballpark price. $500 price range used to be relatively okay and easy to build within, but this is definitely showing the market shifts. Like, I think once things cool down in terms of the market, and GPUs, I think, are a driver of some things. Some people aren't building PCs as much either, just because GPUs are tough to get a hold of. And so they're not letting go of their used parts as much. So there's less and less, I think, just overall used availability. I'm just kind of spitballing ideas, but I don't have anything. What do you guys think about this? Should I go with this board? I think it actually will match up our aesthetic pretty decently well. This saves us $15, which allows us to get the case that we're looking for. It kind of matches some aesthetic with some of the white silvery parts, and allows us to basically complete the build for $500 or less. Now let me go back to that picture. So this guy. I'm going to pull it out. We're going to see. New poll. We're going to say go with, oh man, what the heck? Start a Q&A. I don't want a Q&A. Wait, do I have to kill this poll? End poll. Okay. Now I got to do this. So go with the cheap, this is ASRock board, ASRock B450 for $60. Yes or no? Tell me what to get. So yeah, definitely going back to the other poll, getting an RX 6700 XT is way out of the cards unless we bought those. If we bought those cards that we saw as an anomaly. So yeah, that one. So I think it's fair for us to go with the 6600 XT that really matches what a $500 PC is worth. So Blind Tech asks a question: is shipping included? No, but most of our parts are actually coming free shipping anyway. The reason I'm not including shipping is because what I mentioned earlier is shipping has a lot of variance to it depending on what state you live in, what country you live in. So where, like, say, California, I know you'd probably get more tax, etc. So, and the taxes too, obviously. So we're just taking the parts at raw value, which I typically do with all my build guides. So keep that with a grain of salt too. Like, just basically to put that out there, pretty much all the YouTubers do it that way. Like I said, a lot of this is free shipping anyway, so I'm really not going to incur much shipping cost. But yeah, there's going to be a little extra in shipping, but the idea is a template that targets the $500 range, and expect to pay, your state, your country, shipping and tax costs. Some of the stuff I understand, if you're in different countries, obviously it's probably not available, or if it is, it's not worth the shipping in it at all because it might cost you a bunch of money. The only other thing I would say here is, like Casey's brought it up here several times in chat, is check out AliExpress. Seems like there might still be some availability that's still decent. Part values are the best. Some of the Some of the parts are different, like different brands that we're not, more prolifically aware of. So, take it with, that's basically, buyer beware, buyer be at risk, whatever you want to do. But the poll's coming in pretty strong here that I should just buy that MSI board. I think I'm kind of stuck. Like, I don't think I have the ability to really do anything else because, like I said, B450 boards are getting more expensive, and the Intel boards are even more expensive. The cheapest Intel board that we found earlier before we went part hunting really to an extreme was about $95. So that wasn't going to work at all. So I'm going to change. We're going to go with this, which now I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. And I think we've got what we know to be the part that we want. And that was on Amazon. No, that was on eBay. This guy right here. $60. I'm trusting the seller. He's got 100% positive reviews. The part is in the box in a anti-static bag, the original box. I imagine this thing, from what I can see, looks pretty intact. It's not, I really wish he would have had an out of the box picture. Looks like we are getting IO shield. So I think we're in good shape. That is always something to look at too. If you're buying a used motherboard, IO shields, make sure that they come with it. So definitely going to go with this. And I'm going to change my motherboard to, I think that was actually the first one on the list that I was really not wanting to go with, but it is what it is. Yeah, so brand new, the same exact board. So I think that, yeah. So brand new, we spent $5 more. So we're still saving the 10 to 15. Okay. So we're gonna add this, but I guess we'll modify the price because we're gonna save $5. Okay, add to part list, and then we're saying we're buying that from eBay, so we're gonna take that down to $60. Okay, so that's $434. So we've got a $65 budget roughly. I think my favorite case is honestly this one from what is this? Who makes this again? Okinos, the Cypress 3 that has 4 RGB fans, coming in at $62. Not on PC Part Picker, I don't think. Double checking. Okinos. Yeah, they just have the oh no, there is a Cypress 3. They just don't have any pictures or anything. Okay. Or anything at all about it other than looks like they're maybe adding details to it. I'll add it and then give it the custom price range of $62, what it's going for. And actually, Blind Tech said earlier that it actually goes cheaper sometimes. So maybe within the next few days when I make these purchases, maybe I'll save some money. But where does that put us? Right at $46.41. I just zoomed really far in. My bad. Whoa. What did I do? There we go. Just trying to get a good glimpse on that. So we are sitting pretty. There really is there's no room to budge on this build at all. So as a recap, what are we sitting on? AMD Ryzen 5 4500 for $68. I think that's an amazing deal. Actually, just curious what we might find on eBay. Probably nothing any better, but Ryzen 5, let's do 3600, right? I kind of get wary about buying AMD chips that are shipped, but heck, I didn't even think about that. Maybe we could save better dollars by not a ton, but let's see, because a 4500 is probably about the performance of a 3600. It's kind of like in between a 3600 and a, yeah, I've definitely bought CPUs from from AliExpress. So check this out. Ryzen 5 3600 for $54. We can actually save some money right here. So I'm kind of inclined to do this now. And then we can maybe get a better motherboard. we can even this out. This guy's selling one $54. Sure. 3600. What is the 3600? Let's go back to asking ChatGPT. Ryzen 3600 specs. I think it's oh, come on. Okay, it's still giving me stuff. Cool. Where is the... I'm looking for boost clocks. It's not, oh, there it is, right up here. Base clock 3.6, boost 4.2. Has much more cache. That's the big gain over the 4500. Because Ryzen 4500 specs. This is what I love about AI. Like, tell me this. Oh, it's not finding that. It's just finding the mobile processor. Okay, so let's go back and look at that. It's almost perfect. Not quite. So, yeah, actually, the 3600 basically has around the same clock speeds as the... Or, I'm sorry, the 4500 and, 4500, 3600 have about the same clock speeds, but the L3 cache, which is going to mean a difference in performance in everything, basically, heavily is favored towards the 3600. Yeah, that's the only thing is you got to be careful about buying a CPU on eBay. But let's check. Ryzen 5 3600. Now, what you also got to consider too is sometimes you just get these chips without a cooler. Let's see. I'm trying to find like. There's all of these listings. Okay. 3600, $18 to $63. Okay, let's click on one of these. I want 3600, $63. I'm saving no money basically. Okay. And I don't get a cooler. I'm just checking eBay because I'm really kind of actually thinking I might go to AliExpress for this. The only thing is just, pure availability. So these are tough ones to search with. Like as soon as you, so that guy doesn't have any. This guy, okay. Do you have any 3600s? $84. Outside your mind. Can I find just like a singular listing? I think, okay, 1600X and 2600. 2600. Okay, here's a singular listing. So this is not bad, but we don't know the condition of the CPU at all. Like, yeah, he shows it working. Bent pins are not the end of the world so long as it's not terrible. I've bought bent pin AM4 CPUs before, and if they're just a couple here or there, you can bend them back if you're careful. Selling due to upgrade, guaranteed, genuine part, CPU only, no cooler included, only. So, I mean, then we need a cooler, right? As much as I can just go grab one that I have extra, again, this is plain transparency. So, $53, I don't think we can find a Ryzen cooler for under $10. Like, at this point, we're not really saving anything, because the Ryzen coolers go for like, I think 10 to 20 bucks. Ryzen cooler. Not $10. but then I'm right back where I started, which is going with, yeah, it might have maybe a slightly better performing CPU if I bought used, taking the risk of buying used, or I buy brand new, buy a 4500, call it a day. Are there any cheaper Ryzen options? I don't think so. That was the cheapest one we saw, right? Just curious. Ryzen, I'm just going to type in Ryzen 5. I think I did this earlier. Oh, come on. Stop auto-populating stuff. Ryzen 5. Nope. 5. Lowest price. Yeah, that's the cheapest one. So, could a fit? So, my Chan, thanks for joining, by the way. It looks like I think you just recently joined. Can a 5600 fit into a $500 build? That's a decent upgrade, I think. I don't think so. Let's just, I mean, this is the cheapest one, that at least that's brand new. At least on PC Part Picker is $67 for in one of these one-off 4500 CPUs, 5600. If my guess is correct, probably $100, maybe more. Ryzen 5 5600, 135 for that's the X, 120 GT. I don't know what GT is. So $130, so it's double what we're looking at. What is GT? I don't know what that means. I'm not going to try to make this stream go any longer, but I think okay, so if we went to AliExpress, let's entertain the idea. AliExpress. Let's go back. Ryzen 3600. We would need to get it significantly cheaper, like $40. Because we also need to buy a cooler. $55. So add a cooler, we're already at it. Yeah, it looks like I want to, I'm not as familiar using AliExpress. But there are those bundle deals like I think Casey mentioned. B520. I don't like all that crazy red. That might be an option. Is this a larger motherboard? Oh, that's an M series board. So what's this? $74 for a Max Sun B450. Oh, is this just the motherboard? Thought I saw it with a, yeah, it's just the motherboard. Here's a 3600 for $50. $50 is not a bad price on a 3600, but then when you factor in having to buy a CPU cooler, if you know this is your first time building a PC, then you're already out of the water, or you're basically matching up the same price. I just want to see like bundle. Okay, here's some bundles. What about this? Kalisri motherboard, Ryzen 5 3600. No cooler, but that's okay maybe, and RAM. So if we consider motherboard, RAM, and CPU, but subtract maybe $10 from our PC part picker list. So motherboard, let's do the math here. Oop, not command prompt. Calc. Let's do, right now we're sitting at 6750 plus 60 plus 23, 150. And that deal is $10 cheaper. But what it doesn't include is the cooler. So I'm not going to dig too much deeper in AliExpress. Maybe there's a deal out there. I think we kind of gotten to the end here. I would definitely encourage AliExpress. I've had pretty good experiences with it. Everything I've bought, haven't bought a ton, probably not as much as Casey, so Casey's probably much more experienced in finding those better deals. on AliExpress. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be looking at. It does come with its caveats where you're buying kind of less than known parts, that if you're a buyer that only knows kind of the major brand names like ASRock, Gigabyte, etc., and you don't want to buy this Kalisri motherboard bundle from AliExpress, then okay, that's your prerogative. But looking at it, kind of just skimming through it, it doesn't look like we can save too much more money on AliExpress. I think some areas where we might be able to skim it a little bit more might be on like a case possibly, but most people rather buy the brand names that they trust and know. So I kind of try to keep it to that, and that's why I usually steer away from AliExpress in most cases, just because a lot of that stuff is like, I don't even know where some of these brands, so like they're probably like China only sellers, or maybe they sell in the Asia Pacific area, but not to say that they're bad. I just never heard of them, and they're not mainstream when it comes to products that are sold in a global sense. So you have to use AliExpress to get them. So again, and I have no ill regard to that. If you really want to pinch some money in performance, I think you can probably juggle the money around a little bit better than I did here. But where we stand, right? I think we got a pretty decent build going. Again, it really is kind of the nature of where we're at here. Motherboards, B450s, gotten more expensive for sure. Even used ones. I used to buy used ones for like $40. So they're on their way out. And again, I think there's some factors that contribute to that. But everything else is lining up pretty good. So RAM price seems kind of unaffected. CPU prices seem pretty unaffected. SSD storage seems pretty good. GPUs are tough. I want to say I've bought 6600 XTs cheaper than $180 before. In fact, I want to go back to some of my videos where I've used them and really see what I spent on them, because I want to say I was spending at least $20 less, right? But it is, again, what it is. Everything else is pretty in line with the market trends that, from what I remember, like I said, it's been a few months since I've done some videos, so everything else kind of checks out. So this is going to be a pretty banger $500 PC. It's got some upgrade options. We can put a more modern Ryzen 5 in it. I think someone mentioned, I think it was my chan mentioned earlier, a 5600 would definitely be a pretty good upgrade that I think these parts would support no problem. Could possibly go up a little bit in GPU, but $500, you got to learn what your expectations are. So I'm going to stick with it. And these are going to be the parts that, like I said, I'm going to try to order. Some of them are coming from eBay that I might have to either try to source down quickly or make an alternative to, just in case. If that happens, like I said, I'm going to turn this into the build series that you guys normally expect. If you are new, for one, thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe. Check out the content. I'm getting back on the horse. I expect to be doing much more than I have been doing over the past few months, just because I've been slow. But we're going to build this PC, and then we're going to test the PC. So there's more to come in this build, just other than me just having fun with you guys in Parts Hunt, which was fun. I really enjoyed the Parts Hunt help. Casey, you know your stuff, man. So hats off to you, But as this stream is coming to an end, because we're approaching 3 hours at this point, I think we got a pretty good idea of what to get. $500, going to be a solid build, and stay tuned, because more is to come. So on that note, just double check the chat real quick if there's any pressing questions or comments. Looks like a lot of what I've already kind of went over already. So all right, so at this point, going to be signing off. Appreciate you guys tuning in, like I said, and we will be building this PC very soon, so keep an eye out for content to come. Get subscribed, join the Discord channel to get notified, all that stuff, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy, guys.